You know that sound. You know exactly the one I'm talking about. You're cruising along, maybe merging onto I-5, maybe just driving around Tualatin, minding your own business. The radio's on, coffee's hot, and then SN happy.
It is the most universally dread-inducing sound when you're driving. It's loud, it's startling, and you just feel that sinking feeling in your stomach.
It really is. It's instantaneous. You scan the glass. Is it a chip, a crack?
Yeah.
It's right in my line of sight. And my first instinct is usually just pure denial.
Oh, yeah.
I look at it and go, oh, it's tiny. It'll be fine. I'll deal with that eventually.
And eventually is probably the most expensive word in the English language, especially with car maintenance. That little snap is your bank account taking a hit if you don't act.
That is exactly what we're finding out today. We're doing a deep dive into a guide that deals with that exact moment of panic. It's titled, How to Temporarily Fix a Crack in Tualatin, Oregon. And it's from the team at Collision Auto Glass and Calibration.
Which is a fantastic source for this. I mean, they're a local family-owned business, been around since 2008. They're not talking about windshields in a perfect vacuum.
Right.
They're talking about glass in the real world.
Right.
Specifically, our wet, moody, temperature-swinging world here in the Pacific Northwest.
They know the Tualatin drivers struggle. So the mission for this deep dive is, well, it's pretty straightforward, but the stakes are actually higher than I thought. We want to equip you with the knowledge to stop that crack from spreading with stuff you probably have in a junk drawer right now.
A little MacGyver-style rescue mission for your car.
Exactly.
But before we get people too excited about raiding their bathroom cabinets, we have to start with just a massive flashing neon disclaimer.
Okay.
We are talking about temporary fixes.
Yeah.
The key word is temporary. We're trying to buy you time, a few days, maybe a week, not solve the problem forever.
Got it. So let's set the scene. When I first read this guide, I have to admit I was a little skeptical. I saw nail polish and packing tape listed as tools. It felt a bit like arts and crafts, not, automotive repair.
Yeah.
Is this actually legitimate?
It is, but you have to understand the why. It's not about fixing the glass, it's about sealing the wound. But before we even get to the nail polish, we have to talk about context. The guide calls it the Tualatin factor, but really it's the physics of Oregon.
Because a rock hitting a windshield in Phoenix is different than one hitting a windshield here.
100%. The rock's the same, the speed might be the same, but the reaction of the glass is completely different because of the environment. The guide is emphatic that Tualatin's climate makes speed just absolutely critical.
You don't have the luxury of waiting.
None at all.
Okay, let's break that down. What's actually happening to the glass when that rock hits?
So not all cracks are the same. You've got your star breaks, which look like a little asterisk. You have bullseyes, those little circular chunks. And then you have linear cracks.
Right.
But no matter the shape, once that glass is broken, you've compromised the surface tension.
The structural integrity is gone. The shield is breached.
Exactly. And now you introduce the two arch enemies of auto glass,
right.
Moisture and temperature. And as anyone in Tualatin knows, we have plenty of both.
Let's talk about the wet factor first.
Yeah.
Because, it rains here a lot.
It does. The source points out that in a wet climate, water works its way into that tiny microscopic fissure. If it gets deep enough, it can mess with the safety plastic in the middle of the windshield. But the bigger issue is just what happens when water gets trapped inside.
Because it doesn't just sit there.
No. Which brings us to temperature fluctuations. Tualatin isn't the Arctic, but we have big swings. It can be 45 and raining in the morning and then, sunny and 60 in the afternoon. Or it can drop to freezing overnight.
In basic physics, things expand when they're hot and contract when they're cold.
Exactly. It's thermal expansion. Glass is rigid, so when the temperature drops, it contracts. When it heats up, say you blast your defroster on a cold morning, it expands really fast.
And a solid sheet of glass can handle that.
Right. It distributes the stress, but if there's a crack,
the stress has nowhere to go.
It concentrates right at the very tip of that crack. It's a weak point. So you turn on your heater, the glass expands, and pop. That tiny chip just shoots across the windshield. The guide says this can happen overnight just from the temperature drop in your driveway.
That is such a terrifying image. You park the car with a chip you can barely see and wake up to a giant spider web.
It happens all the time. That's why the Tualatin factor matters. You just can't wait 3 weeks like you might in a mild, dry climate. The environment is actively trying to pry that crack open.
Okay, so the clock is ticking. But is there a point of no return? A size where we just say, okay, put down the super glue, this is over.
Yes, absolutely. There is a hard limit. The guide refers to the 6-inch rule.
6 inches. That's the cutoff.
That's the danger zone. If the crack is smaller than, say, a dollar bill, you can try these temporary fixes to stabilize it. If it's longer than 6 inches, the windshield's structural integrity is just too far gone.
So if it's a giant snake stretching across the passenger side, don't be a hero.
Do not be a hero. A DIY fix does nothing at that point. You need a pro immediately. But if you catch it when it's small, a little star or a bullseye, you can intervene.
Okay, let's get at the intervention. The household heroes, as the guide puts it. We mentioned nail polish. What are we looking for in our junk drawer?
It's a surprisingly simple list. Your main tools are clear nail polish, super glue, and clear packing tape.
Clear nail polish? I assume the color matters. We don't want midnight red on the windshield.
Definitely not. You want clear for visibility, obviously, but also clear polish tends to have fewer additives. We just need a lacquer to seal the surface. And economically, you can't beat it. The source says nail polish is maybe $3 to $5. Super glue is $2 to $4.
So for under $10, I can potentially save my windshield. That sounds almost too good to be true.
Well, you can temporarily save it. I'm going to keep stressing that. But yes, however, and this is the part most people get wrong, you can't just slap it on.
I feel like slapping it on is the standard procedure for most DIY repairs. Just put some glue on it.
And that's exactly why they fail. The guide outlines a specific science to this. And step 1 is the most critical and the one everybody ignores.
The cleanup.
The cleanup. You have to clean the area thoroughly. The advice from Collision Auto Glass is emphatic. Use glass cleaner or rubbing alcohol and let it dry completely.
Why is the drying part so important? Can't I just wipe it down and go?
Think about what we just said about moisture. If you clean it but leave it damp and then you put super glue on top, what have you just done?
I've trapped the water inside.
You've sealed the enemy inside the gates. That trapped moisture will still expand and contract with temperature, but now it has nowhere to go. It will push outward and just split the glass further.
Wow, so you could actually make the crack worse by sealing it wet.
Precisely. You need it bone dry. Use a hair dryer on low if you have one. And the guide also says use a microfiber cloth.
To avoid lint, right?
Yes. A paper towel leaves tiny fibers behind. The glue binds to the paper, not the glass. And you don't want to be looking at a piece of napkin stuck in your windshield for the next week.
Okay. Clean it. Dry it. Really dry it. Step 2. Application. How do we do this without making a huge mess?
Technique is key here. You want to apply the polish or the glue from the outside edges toward the center.
Outside in. Why? Why not just start in the middle?
It's about air displacement. If you just put a blob in the middle, you trap air bubbles under it. You want to gently push the air out as you fill the void. You're trying to create a hermetic seal. If you trap air, the seal is weak.
That makes sense. It's like putting a screen protector on your phone.
Exactly. Steady hand, outside to inside, and then we just drive away. No. Step 3 is patience. The guide says allow at least 30 minutes for it to dry.
30 minutes. That feels like forever when you're rushing to work.
It's better than rushing to a glass shop for a full replacement. It needs to set. The solvents have to evaporate. If you drive right away, the wind will just push the liquid glue right out of the crack.
Okay. And where does the packing tape come in?
So that's a specific barrier. The source suggests using clear packing tape for longer cracks, or just as an extra shield. This is really useful in Tualatin if it's actively raining and you can't get the car into a garage.
It's like a raincoat for the injury.
That's a perfect way to put it. It keeps road spray and dirt out of the crack until you can get to a shop. Just make sure it's clear tape.
So we've cleaned, we've glued, maybe we've taped.
Mm-hmm.
We're feeling pretty handy. But let's do a reality check. Is this going to look perfect?
No, not at all. The guide is very clear about the limitations. It warns that while clear polish or glue should be nearly invisible, there will be optical distortion. The refractive index of superglue isn't the same as glass.
So it might look a little wavy or blurry.
You might see a smudge or a line, which is why they stress don't apply it too thickly. But there's a much bigger issue here than just looks.
This is the part of the guide that really surprised me. The technology. Because cars aren't just mechanical anymore.
This is a crucial insight. Modern windshields are not just glass. They are lenses for the car's brain. They house ADS sensors.
ADS. Let's unpack that.
Advanced driver assistance systems. So your lane departure warning, your automatic emergency braking, rain sensors, heads-up display.
And those cameras are right behind the windshield.
They look through the windshield. The source explains that if you do a DIY fix right in front of the camera, you are essentially putting a cataract in the car's eye.
That's a wild way to put it. So I could fix a crack, but blind my safety system.
Potentially. If you distort the view with a glob of glue, the camera might not read the lane markers correctly. The precise curvature and clarity of the glass are part of the system's calibration.
So if the crack is near that rear view mirror cluster,
Be extremely careful. That's usually where the cameras live. You might be better off just using tape there to keep moisture out without bonding a distortion onto the glass.
and the guide mentions another risk making the actual professional repair harder.
Yes, the backfire potential. Professional repair involves injecting resin into the crack. If you've already filled that crack with superglue, the resin can't get in. You've blocked the path.
So by trying to save a few bucks, I might have made it impossible for a pro to fix, forcing a full replacement.
It's a real risk. A technician might look at it and just say, sorry, I can't clear this out. We have to replace the whole thing.
Which brings us to the economics. Let's talk dollars and cents. The main reason I'm reaching for nail polish is to save money.
Of course. So let's look at the numbers from the source. The DIY cost is, what, under $10? A professional repair in Tualatin is generally between $50 and $150.
That's a jump, but $150 isn't the end of the world.
But compare that to the consequence of not fixing it. If you need a full replacement, you're looking at $200 to $600.
Ouch, $600. That hurts.
And that's conservative. If you have a car with complex ADS systems that need recalibration, that price can go way, way higher. Over $1,000 for some models.
So that $50 repair is actually a bargain. It's an investment to stop a $600 bill.
Exactly. But here's the kicker that the source points out, and a lot of drivers just don't know this. Check your insurance. Because many insurance companies cover chip repair with a zero deductible.
Really? So it might be literally free.
Often, yes. Think about it from their perspective. Would they rather pay $75 now to fix a chip or $800 later for a new windshield and calibration? They want you to fix the chip.
That changes the whole equation. If I can get it fixed professionally for free, why am I messing with nail polish?
That's the right question. And the answer is timeline. The DIY fix isn't a substitute for the pro, it's the bridge to get you there. The source recommends seeking professional repair within 2 to 3 days.
It's a tourniquet.
It is strictly a tourniquet. It holds the line while you call and schedule the appointment because these fixes have a limited lifespan, a few days to a few weeks. But in Oregon's climate, I wouldn't push it.
So don't apply super glue and think, great, I'm good for the winter.
Definitely not. That glue will eventually get brittle, the moisture will win, and the crack will run.
So eventually, we call the pros. What's the real difference between what I do in my driveway and what they do in a shop? Is it just better glue?
It's chemistry and physics. It's a completely different league. When you use superglue, you're just capping the surface. Professionals use a process with a vacuum. They actually suck all the air out of the crack first.
So no air bubbles?
No air bubbles. Then they inject a specialized resin that has the same refractive index as glass. And then, this is the cool part, they use UV curing.
Ultraviolet light.
Yeah. They hit it with a UV light to harden the resin instantly. This bonds the glass on a molecular level. It actually restores the structural integrity. It pulls the glass back together.
Which my bottle of nail polish definitely does not do.
No, nail polish is just a scab. The resin is a graft. It heals the glass. And remember, the ADS systems.
The car's eyes.
A professional shop like Collision Auto Glass handles the necessary calibration. They have the equipment to make sure your lane keep assist is actually pointing at the lane.
That seems like a huge safety factor.
Yep.
And I assume if I mess up a DIY job, there's no warranty.
Zero. You're on your own. But professional work comes with one. If their repair fails, they fix it. If your superglue fails, you're buying a new windshield.
And they offer same-day service in Tualatin.
They do. And that local aspect is important. They know the roads, they know the gravel trucks on I-5, they know exactly what Tualatin drivers are up against.
Okay, so let's distill this. Someone listening just heard that snap. What is the protocol?
Okay, emergency checklist. Step 1, don't panic, but don't ignore it. Pull over when it's safe.
Step 2, assess the size.
Is it under 6 inches? If yes, you have options. If it's huge, call for a replacement right away.
If it's under 6 inches, we hit the junk drawer.
Right. Clean it thoroughly. Alcohol, microfiber cloth. Dry it completely. This is the hill I will die on. Dry it
Exactly.
completely.
Then seal it.
Yep. Clear nail polish or super glue outside in. Let it dry for 30 minutes. If it's raining, slap some clear packing tape over it to shield it. Then pick up the phone. Call the pros. Use that temporary fix to buy yourself the 48 hours you need to get an appointment. Don't let temporary become permanent in your mind.
Because, as we've learned, the windshield is not just a window anymore.
It's not. And this is the part that really sticks with me from this. We think of the windshield as just a shield to keep bugs out of our teeth. But in a modern car, it is a structural safety component.
How so?
It supports the roof. In a rollover, the windshield provides a significant amount of the strength that keeps the roof from crushing you. It's part of the safety cage.
I had no idea. I just thought it was glass.
It's structural glass, and it supports the airbag. When the passenger airbag deploys, it shoots up and bounces off the windshield to position itself correctly.
Wait, it bounces off the glass.
It relies on the windshield as a backstop. If that windshield is compromised by a big crack or if it pops out, the airbag might not work effectively.
That is terrifying and incredibly important. It's not just about seeing the road. It's about the car holding together in a crash.
Precisely. And that's why the DIY fix, while it's a great life hack for an emergency, you just can't rely on it. You're compromising the safety cage of your vehicle.
So the nail polish is a hero, but a temporary hero.
It's the sidekick. The professional repair is the superhero.
I like that. It's about managing risk. You manage the immediate risk with the DIY kit and the long-term safety risk with the pros.
And you save yourself from that $600 replacement bill.
Which is a win for everyone. You know, I'm never going to look at a bottle of nail polish the same way again.
Just make sure you grab the clear stuff. Keep the glitter for the weekend.
Deal. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the surprisingly complex world of windshield cracks. Yeah. Who knew there was so much physics and economics in a little piece of broken glass?
There's always more beneath the surface. And, this raises an interesting question to leave us with.
What's that?
Think about the evolution of the car. We used to look through the windshield. That was its job. But now the car looks through it too. As our cars become more autonomous, the clarity of that glass becomes the clarity of the car's own vision.
That's true. It's not just our eyes anymore.
So when you fix a crack, you aren't just clearing up your view, you're clearing up the vision of the machine that's driving you. It makes you wonder, at what point does car maintenance stop being about mechanics and start being about optometry? Are we fixing a car, or are we prescribing glasses for a robot?
That is a wild thought. The car's watching the road, so we better keep its glasses clean. Thanks for listening, everyone. Drive safe, watch out for rocks, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.